It's me the next day after the video just about to watch. So I wanted to quickly put a disclaimer at the start. I'm going to be honest, I didn't actually come up with a plan for for this week's video. And all you get at the Aftermatch podcast. Because we didn't have any Pro League games, I didn't know what to do. The original plan was just why people like me should, and people like you should do like journalism degrees and stuff, but I think it ended up just being me rambling about just being at university and just learning other stuff. So I was like debating whether I was going to upload it, but then I thought, look, I might as well just upload the unedited thing just so you can see what happens when I haven't pre-prepared what I'm going to talk about. So yeah. By next week it's all going to be back to normal. Podcast is going to be back. I'm going to carry on doing the shorts because they seem to be doing quite well. And yeah, just enjoy what this ended up being. And sorry if this place is quite echoey. I am in my conservatory. I just need someone to quickly read a disclaimer. So yeah. Enjoy, I guess. When people think of journalists, they think of like outgoing, flamboyant, wants to talk all the time, those sort of people. In reality, that's not really the case. So a bit of context of why I'm making this video. Before I started university, I was quite a restrictive, like very introverted person who didn't know what he wanted to do in university. So I just picked whatever I was doing good at in secondary school, which was law. It was that or English language. And in the end, it ended up being... Well, I actually took a gap year and went... And then took time to think about it. I realised all I wanted to be was that person on TV who would like read the news, like be like the presenter of a show. Because I always used to watch game shows, I used to always watch the news, and I think my brain just went, I want to be that person. So I ended up doing journalism at the University of Brighton, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And this might be a shorter video than usual, but I just want to talk about some of the reasons why I think introverted people should do journalism. Like, I actually was doing a different course at Brighton. I was originally doing non-criminology, but I then told them, I don't feel like this is a course for me, can I change? And they said, yeah, we have to do it quick. So looked online, found a journalism course, and then they got it all changed, and then I was doing a journalism now, albeit 3 weeks behind, which I had to make up. And one thing during my time thinking about it, I was like, oh well, that involves. This is old me like talking. It was like head down like this, just going. Well, it's going to involve talking to people, blah blah blah. Like the normal introverted stuff you might hear. But I don't know, something just switched in my head, just saying, look, the whole point of university is you need to push yourself out of your comfort zone. It basically, I asked myself, do you actually want to do this as a job in the future? And the answer was yes. So it's like, so what's stopping you? And hence why I changed course. Yeah, I got to learn a load of stuff about like the ethical stuff, like the legal stuff. So even though I switched from law to journalism, I ended up doing quite a bit of law anyway. But at least I was doing something else that I actually wanted to do in the future. I got to find out how to write journalism, how to do video journalism, how to basically a whole load of stuff. And then in the third year, I got to go go into the Houses of Parliament, which was an awesome experience. Then got to go to the CNN International Building in London as well, which actually fun fact is I think it was only the second time I've ever been to London. Might be wrong with that, but and then later on I managed to go to the British Wildlife. The British Wildlife something, I can't remember what it is, but British Wildlife Centre, I think. And also in third year, I ended up doing match spotting and interviewing for the UFC, which I'm pretty sure I've mentioned a couple of times already. But yeah, that was a great experience. The people there were lovely. And this was in third year where I sort of got my confidence up with my communication was better. And I felt more like calm and relaxed when talking to people. And that's one of the main reasons I think some people should do it. Especially if they're introverted but they don't want to be introverted. You still end it still being quite introverted, but you feel like more confident talking to people. When you go out places, you don't feel like you're just that person in the corner. Like on the inside, I'm still quite an introverted person to be honest. I'd rather be at home 24/7 if I could, but then I also want to at one point be in the studio. It's confusing how my brain works. I'm still trying to figure out myself, to be honest. And yeah, so let's go on to the main part of the video. Why do I think? Well, why did I do it? And it might help you guys. It might help you guys try and work out if you want to do it or not, or even do a course similar, and you're not too sure. Use this as like a basis for like any course that you see as being extroverted, but you're like, oh, I'm an introvert. It's like this might help, it might not. That's fine. It's your decision by the end of the day. Don't make you make a decision for you. Basically, this is just my experience, and who knows? It could end up helping you come up with a final solution of what course you actually want to do. Basically, what do you get against the point of the video? My first one was it was the first time I ever was living in a place on my own. Like, of course, you had other people living in the flat, but this is when first I was completely away from my family for what I knew was going to be an extended period of time. Like, I went to like the PGL things for like about a week, but this was like long term. This is going to be about 9 months plus. Well, take away the holidays and stuff. So the first year was quite daunting, and it did teach me quite a big lesson about spending as well. Because I was going to like clothes shops and I was going to Aldi for quite a few days every week to get stuff. And yeah, it all came to me when I actually looked at my bank account and realised it was getting low. It's sort of like, it genuinely did hit me like a steam train. I was like, oh god, I probably need to be more efficient with how I'm spending. And for the last bit of that first year, I became better at spending. That carried on through the next 2 years. I also in both years had to find housing myself. So I had to join the Facebook groups, say, hey, look, I'm available. Does anyone have a place for me? Both times I eventually got somewhere. Well, I met quite a few. Met quite a few amazing people throughout my entire 3 years there. So basically, shout out to all you lot who had to basically deal with me. Anyway, one of the main reasons I feel like some people should do it, like if you're considering doing it and it's the thing you want to do in the future, don't let your introvertedness get in the way of stopping of like not being able to achieve that. whenever I got like interviews with people, I just knew I had to reserve that moment of my day where I had to actually be talkative to people. Like I could be quiet for quite long bits of the day, but I felt like as it went on, I was able to just like switch on like talkative. I need to be quite sociable mode, and now I've got more of a sociability about me. I hope. That's what I feel like in my head. That's the thing. So I hope that it actually looks that way with other people. And yeah, it was something I wanted to do. It's something I've always been interested in, so I wasn't sitting in lectures completely bored, which is this is the one you have in the back of your mind. I might have any think I made a mistake, but that wasn't the case, and all the tutors I had are there to are the reason for that. And yeah, my my second reason is sometimes the course name isn't entirely what the course is going to be about. Like if you tell me a journalism course, what's it going to be? It's like, oh, you just go out and interview people in different ways. But no, I think I've already mentioned I've had to do ethics. I had to do video. I had to do writing. I had to do audio. I had to do long form writing. I had to do a bunch of stories on a website. I had to consider like the legal ethical aspect to it. I'm not sure if I've already mentioned that. I got to go on trips to places. Like, I'll advise anyone doing any course, don't take all the courses at face value. You might learn a lot more stuff. If your university website is going where it says year 1, year 2, and year 3, and then year 4, depending on how many there are, I'll say just have a read of them and just try and consider what that might be. And then when you actually write down everything you got to learn, it's actually more than you think it is. And everything I got to learn was crammed in just one word: journalism. So yeah, and the people there will be understanding of you not being that much of a talkative person, and if they can understand this is what you want to do, they will help you. They'll go. Like one thing they told me, I need to find like a like it was like to get like a pen before. I'm not going to put this in my mouth. I know it's going to taste horrible, but you put your pen in your mouth and read it out. And you get and say it a couple of times, and you get more comfortable saying it, which I ended up doing with my video stuff. Yeah, they will help you not like beat introvertedness, but they'll help you combat it for that small bit of time where you have to actually record yourself speaking and record yourself like talking to people and stuff like that. I here's a section about some of the great school trips I managed to, well, class trips. It's not school trips, it's university, but like class trips that we end up going on. Some of which you won't actually expect. Like we went to a wildlife centre in third year, and that it wasn't just because they wanted to go on a school trip. It's because they knew some people were going to struggle with their with something with critical investigation. So this was like from a magazine for a broadcast of critical investigation. This was another option. They were giving us options for people who were stuck. And then of course you get to see. Most of us only went because we got to see owls, like massive owls and small owls. You got to see foxes. You got to see a load of animals you've never seen before, and it was wonderful. I actually really enjoyed it. One that made a bit more sense was going to the Parliament, because you have BBC Parliament where they do all the House of Commons stuff. I got to go in both buildings. Fun fact, you're not actually allowed to sit down if you're not a member of Parliament, which is something I didn't know about. I didn't sit down. I wasn't even considering it. I just didn't realise that was a rule, which I found quite interesting. So the starch going into my mouth. Um, and then right afterwards, we had a bit of a break where we got to eat and stuff like that. And then we got to go to CNN International, which was it was a building doing American news in London, which was a little bit surreal to me, but yeah, it was. That was also quite a fun experience, like being in the actual studio of a place. We had to sort of rush it a bit because she was going to be on. The person we actually ended up talking to was going to be on TV at some point, like actually live on TV. So we all had to go like backstage. We got to see how the person does the countdown backstage, and how they managed to cut to each thing. It was really cool seeing how thing actually works. And then they had this camera which they kept moving around, and you get to see yourself in shot. You just go, "Is that what I look like?" And to be fair, I'm not going to show the picture, but this is the point where if you thought this was bad, I hadn't cut my hair for quite a long time at that point, which meant I was looked like I was auditioning to be Lawrence Llewellyn and Bowen at one point. But yeah, the picture doesn't look great. Like from my head, everyone else says I look fine in the picture, but well, on social media they managed to pick the only picture where I'm not looking at the camera, which was quite funny. So I don't need to change it. I think it's hilarious. Yeah, I got to go to that, and the studios are like, even though it's like not like that big of a place, like you got like the whole other buildings, and then you got just this bit with this like the studio. It's just interesting, like actually standing there. I thought you got to have a lot of lights. You got to have a lot of things towards you, blah blah blah. It was actually fine in there. I thought you were going to be bloody boiling, but you weren't in the end. It was. Yeah, and this is another reason why I feel like some people should do it. You get to go on school trips. Well, I'm going to call them school trips now, but you get to go on trips like that, which can make you think, oh, I want to do this. They do this to literally give people ideas. And the next part we go on to is also in that bracket is guest speakers. We had so many guest speakers. We had someone from Sky. We had someone from one of the Arsenal podcasts. Wasn't what you like does the whole time. It's just where I first found him. His name is Jordan Jarrett Bryan, and I'm gonna quickly get the name of the other person just so it doesn't sound like I'm leaving him out. Give me a moment. Elliot Kirk, there we go. We got to speak to someone someone called Jessica from. Who's one of the French papers, I think. Who's an English person who was working for one of these papers. Where I actually got to record like the whole meeting thing, which was. It gave me experience with holding a camera. I wanted to try and get as much experience as possible doing different stuff. So when they said, "Oh, we need some people to do the recording for the guest speaker we've got," they said, "Does anyone want to do it?" I immediately emailed back and said, "Yeah, I do." So I thought it was really interesting. I got some experience in. Everything went great. We had quite a few guest speakers, to be honest. I can't remember them all offhand. And he also gave me quite a good person to speak to who like works for ITV and I think ITV and loads of other channels who've done a meeting together on 2 occasions where we've talked about what the plan of action is and what I'm going to do moving on with like my future journalism career. One of the things was to just carry on doing this, which I'm doing now, and try and get a big portfolio of stuff. I've got a bunch of graphics, which at the time of writing will be yesterday night, after all the European Games are finished, which I could have done a bit quicker if it wasn't for all the Cloudflare servers going down. But yeah, they came up quite quickly. I managed to get it finished enough, so basically what I'm going to do on my laptop, as you can see, so I think everyone almost is me doing that. And basically, I'm going to quickly update it, then have to download each one and then get them onto the Instagram as quickly as possible, which is going to be a task in itself. By the time this is going to come out, you know how well I did. But yeah. What was that, Lewis? So I mentioned it again. I managed to interview a load of great people. You had a load of Lewis players, like you had Josh Spinks, you had Marcus Sablier, you had I got to speak to the manager Pitts, who's called Craig Nelson, and I got to speak to a certain Toby Ball who's playing in the Bowler League right now, which was quite an experience for me. When I interviewed him and didn't think much of it. That's why when he follows you, I was like, okay, that's quite. I got to interview someone who had quite a few followers on Instagram, and then I was watching the first live draft. I was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to watch it or not, but might as well watch the draft. And I suddenly saw him in the groups of people sitting there. Literally point out, I was like, see, I interviewed him. They pretty much didn't care, but I thought it was quite cool, and yeah, it's because I'm ridiculous. So I just thought of it. I was like, so now I've only got a couple of degrees of separation from me to anyone play any of the managers in Boulder League now. He goes me, Toby Ball, then Simon, me Winter, then you go me, Toby Ball, Simon, and then just any one of the other people. I know I'm just rambling on here, but I'm not expecting anything. I just thought that was quite interesting to think about. It's all how the 6 degrees of separation thing works. That this person met this person, this person met this person, this person met this person. So someone who does this job, someone who does this job, could end up meeting each other at some point, I think is the point. But anyway, doing the placement, this is the last thing I was going to point out, and it's something I've touched on already. They will help you find a job on the last year. It's not a job, it's a placement, really. And they always like list all the ones that are available. And one of the ones that was there was doing stuff for the men's team, and I sent off my CV. I sent off the cover letter, which the people in the careers and employabilities team at the University of Brighton helped me massively on. So thank you for that. And they're really nice, and they helped all of us figure stuff out. I sent it off, and luckily, Joe Shaw invited me for an interview. I did it. It went. I think it went well, but then your brain, of course, does a thing of thinking about, I could have said this, could have said that. A couple of days later, I get an email from him saying, yeah, I picked me and 2 other people. And I was like, in my head, I was like, I wasn't being all like, oh, I've already got one. I'm a good person. But by the end of it, when other people saying they hadn't found anything yet, I felt quite relieved that I managed to set my stall early for that. Did all the match reviews, did all the interviews, and managed to get them all, like a couple of them submitted for the professional practice thing. And ended up doing quite well on that module. And managed to submit, I think 2 of the things I did to my final portfolio as well, which was quite cool. So if you actually look on the Lewis website and you see, it says Christopher Coleman, that's me. I wrote that. And yeah, it was a great experience. I can now say I wrote for a football team, and it being the first like all inclusive one was a privilege as well. And yeah, it improved my confidence. They weren't expecting us to be perfect at writing match reports. They were like editing a bit as well. But yeah, they totally understood if you weren't like the most introverted person, the most extroverted person even, and you're quite an introverted person, is what I was trying to say. They just go, this is what I want you to do. Get it to me by this point tomorrow. That's like that. So the people at the University will help, and the people they contact they can trust, and they'll help you as well. Is basically my last point. Before I round out the video, I just want to say a big thank you to University of Brighton. I enjoyed every minute of my time at the university. You helped me along the way. I can't thank any of the tutors enough. They're all very good at their craft, and yeah, they manage to keep you like down to earth, to saying, "Are you sure you can do that?" Like they manage to help you without just doing the work for you. Like they'll just say something, you just go, "Oh, I've got an idea," and stuff like that. Because everyone they got there was quite experienced in doing it. So yeah, I'll just say a big thank you to everyone I end up staying with, everyone at the university, for making that 3 years of my life of studying probably one of the best 3 years of my life. And I just hope we can get to a point where I can link this video to me in a couple of years' time, which is me as a 23-year-old now, in the future me actually achieving what I want to achieve, which is the big goal. And I hope that happens at some point. But anyway, this might be a bit of like a choppy video. I just need to get a video out this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Back to normal schedule for quite a bit of time now, as we've got no more international breaks. Which I like international breaks, but I'm kind of relieved that we've got like a large string of Premier League games now. I've got stuff to talk about. And even on the running, I'm going to have to talk about potentially 2 fixtures each episode now, which luckily for you, which means there's going to be longer episodes. I don't know if that's going to be a celebration or a major bit of annoyance for everyone, but we'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. At the time, I'm sorry it's coming out on Wednesday. I'm just load of timing stuff. Is the reason it's coming out on the Wednesday instead. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you you've dealt with my rambling on this video. I just need to come up with a concept, so I decided to just talk about my time at university. And yeah, one last thing to University of Brighton, and I'll see you next week for the next instalment of Aftermatch. See ya. Thank you for watching Aftermatch. If you want to see more episodes, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel where you'll get a video version of this, or follow me on Spotify if you want to listen to future episodes on the go. Be sure to check out my website, The Centre Circle, which you can find on the About page of my YouTube channel.